All right, we're going to try this again. Since the internet dropped on me about 5 minutes into going live the last time. Ugh. This is take two. Luckily, it was only out for about less than an hour. I got to get some writing in. I'm annoyed, but I still got to get writing in, right? So I know Keith and Chad were both on right away, which is great. They signed in, and then I lost it. Let me tell Chad. At least Chad knows. Hopefully people will filter in, hang out with me while I get some writing in. And if it drops again, I don't know what to tell you. Then I just give up. Then the day becomes, I'm going to lay around and read. Nope. The HOA took your internet down? Yeah. Just why I'm not voting for them. No, I was like, what was that? 5 minutes? 10 minutes? And I looked up and I'm like, oh, why is the chat down? Oh, why is the internet down? And of course, then I can never figure out how to do look up the outage thing. So I just text my wife. I'm like, internet's down. Can you check and see how long? And she's like, they're saying it'll be fixed by 3:00. And I'm like, that does not work for me. But then I went to the bathroom and I grabbed the bottle of water. And I'm like, let me just, before I go and lay down and read and fall asleep, let me just go check it. And then it's on. So if it drops again, Chad, thanks for coming in. But I'm not going to give it another shot today. And I'm like all psyched up today. I'm like, you know what? I want to do it 2 hours again. I'm gonna hit some 2 hours on this. Get some running done. I had a big day yesterday. We got 35 hours was our plus for yesterday. So hope to keep going. We are getting close to 2,000 hours. Chad says, once in a great while on a clear day, some drunk or stoner will hit a pole and knock the internet out. Yeah. And I think that's basically what they said, that the, what do you call it? Whatever the thing of the generator, whatever the thing on the pole is, was out. Probably some moron. Down here, though, Florida, probably some old lady who forgot which one was the brake and which one was the gas. But I'm going to get some writing in. And hopefully you're getting more writing in, too. I know you had 700 words or something before. Hopefully you have more than that. are you doing here? All right. Getting some words in though. Getting some of these words in. That's all you can do at this point. Although now I'm annoyed, so I don't think I'm going to be doing 2 hours. Ches, I'm probably around halfway done with this novelization. That's good. Nothing wrong with that. I'm anxious to be done with it and get back to writing my own thing again. Yeah, that'd be good. That would be very good. What is this from? Well, last night when my wife was coming home, the road to get into the development was blocked off. There was a ton of traffic. She's like, What's do you know what's going on?" And I'm like, "No, but I know like some 12-year-old on a mini bike got killed, but not over here, over on the other side of town." Then I just read that 6 o'clock yesterday, a kid on a mini bike on this side of town also was run over and killed. So lots of mini bikes and lots of death. Man, that's it. Poor kids. Yeah, I think the first kid was 13, and I don't know how old. They didn't say how old the other. But at 10 o'clock at night when she's coming home, they still had it all. 4 hours later, they still had it all blocked off and everything. So I mean, I would just complain like an old man because they drive around on their mini bikes up and down the street real fast, and the golf carts real fast. Like we ain't on a golf course. I was hitting my late teens. I hate cars. You refuse to get anywhere near a car. You and your wife walk everywhere. Yeah, that's gotta suck. Stop, fucking cat. She better not be going out anywhere near my puzzle. We're doing a Coca-Cola jigsaw puzzle, me and my wife. We do it on the table, and then we cover the puzzle because it's not done with the tablecloth, and we put a couple of things on the end, and hopefully the damn cat isn't trying to get to it. 1,000 pieces. It's various Coca-Cola things. I used to puzzle my wife last one. We used to do them all in COVID. We did like I don't know, like 20 puzzles. It was great. But that was before we had I think it was before we had yeah, it was before we had either cat. We had no animals in the house. It was nice. You could just leave it sitting on the table and nobody's gonna bother it. The other cat, Mary won't touch it, but Maisie will get up there and start knocking pieces around. I think we got like 4 or 5 Coke ones. Like we just started buying a bunch of them back then, you know? Apparently, it was just reading that it was some a kid from this development, teenager, riding on the main out of the development on the main road on a mini bike, and he ran straight into a car and critical condition. There's Charlie. Yeah, we're finally live. Stupid internet. My fear one of these times would be that the internet drops during MondoCon, and I got like 10 writers in the house. Everybody's using the internet to write, and then somebody starts complaining. I'm like, you just write offline. Nick says, "My life is you know what? No truer words have ever been spoken, Mister Zinn." I was on an hour ago, and then it dropped. The internet dropped, but it's supposed to be out till 3 o'clock. So, at any point, if it's just like, "Hey, you're not here anymore," I'm giving up. I'm not getting back on. So I want to get some. I need to get some writing in today. I mean, I don't need to. I'm a couple of days ahead, but it would be nice to get some writing in. I mean, right now I'm not writing. I'm looking through my emails. But you know what I'm saying. You get it. So I don't know what we're gonna do after the Coke one, the Coke jigsaw puzzle. I guess whichever one we pick, since my wife is home tonight after work, we'll more than likely do more of the puzzle, and then we'll watch some television after dinner. Chess says, while playing your streams in the background, I happened across your last MondoCon one. You didn't introduce some of the people, so I wasn't sure who was sitting there with you. I don't know. Maybe I just don't care. You need a Choba puzzle. My wife would not like that. She wouldn't even like a Heather puzzle. Crowbot. Nick says usually it's Mike sitting next to him at MondoCon. Yeah, chances are the person you saw was Mike, since there was 3 of them, and the African American gentleman was Mike, and the old man was Mike, and the guy who was not as old, that was Win, and then Frank Edler and Chuck Buda, Nick Zinn, Amanda. He brought in like 6 people. Yeah, it was Mike, and Mike, Win, Nick, Chuck, Frank, Tom, Amanda. Edler wasn't there, but yeah, oh, that's right. This year, Frank wasn't here. Edler wasn't there, but Tom and his satanic shirt was. Yeah. Charlie says, so what is MondoCon? MondoCon is a writer's retreat that me and my wife created. This will be our 6th year. And so around the first weekend in August, people drive in or fly in from various places like, I don't know, Milwaukee, Knoxville, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Washington, D.C., Chicago, wherever. And they come to my house. I pick them up at the airport on Thursday. And then my wife makes us dinner Thursday night. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we write from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we take an hour lunch break. And we all spread out all over the house. And people stay here. I have 3 bedrooms and 2 couches, so we can accommodate 5 people here. And my wife cooks basically lunches and dinners for us all weekend. And then at night we sit around, maybe have some adult beverages if you're into that. We just basically sit around and talk shop and BS and have a good time. And then a bunch of locals usually are invited as well, and then they drive over Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's an invite only. But if people want to come, then I add them onto the list. And that list I redid this year. I went through it and I'm like, yeah, most of these people I don't even want here anymore. So that list has gotten exponentially smaller. Or people haven't even been like, yeah, can I come this year? So we're changing it up this year. It will be a smaller group, mostly people from not here. So Tom Duffy, since he lives here in the area, since he lives at my mother-in-law's house, he will come each day. And then Amanda, hopefully, will be able to get out of work on Friday, and she'll be here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Chuck and Frank can't be in the same place, especially Monaco. Hopefully this year they will be back together again, because it's funny listening to those two. So that's what it is. That's what MondoCon is. It's basically come and hanging at my house, and my wife makes a ton of food, and as well as 3 different kinds of cookies, and there's banana bread, and there's carrot cake sometimes, and all kinds of stuff. Peter Marsh will be a new person this year. He's already paid in his money. I charge a small fee to help offset some of the food. So there you go. Charlie says that's pretty cool. It is. The cool part is that everybody here is basically writing, doing their own thing. I do a dry erase board, and everybody says like, all right, I want to do like 5,000 words for the day, and then you write it up on the board, and then when you hit that part, you hit that thing, you walk up to the board, you put a check next to it, everybody cheers. It's magnificent. Oh yeah, there's also M&Ms. There's 3 different kinds of M&Ms that hardly anybody eats, and then I'm forced to eat it over the next few months. It's also a BYOC con. Bring your own. I don't know what that C stands for. Bring your own Chad. If you have your own Chad, bring your Chad. Bring your own condiment. No, we have condiments in the house. I just don't eat them. My wife eats condiments, so you're good. Like like she'll do taco bar, or she'll usually do an Italian night. We did a baked potato bar last year, which did very well, because then you can get broccoli and cheese, or you can get pulled pork on it, or any kind of stuff. Garlic bread, yep. Nick is a savage with the garlic bread. If we do Italian, we won't do it on Sunday, so that Nick won't have bad breath when he goes home to his imaginary girlfriend on hopefully you'll stay till Monday. That's all I need. fancy band whiskey. Yeah, yeah. Come drink some of this alcohol because I ain't drinking it. Even Chuck can sit down and have it. So anyway, it'll be good. I'm mixing it up, not inviting as many people this year. I stayed till Monday last year by accident. So for the people who are flying in or driving in on Thursday, depending on when you get here, we're going to go to Whataburger. A couple people have not been to Whataburger, and it's on the other side of town, but like other side of town, like 20 minutes or so, and that'll keep us from the house so that my wife can get all her baking done and then get Thursday night's cooking in. It's good. And then on Friday I'll do the MondoCon episode of this. Bring everybody in to talk and say, what are you working on? Someday we need to venture to Redneck Beach. I told you, if you want to come in a day early or leave a day later, I would love to go to Redneck Beach with you. Redneck Beach is awesome. Redneck Beach is where all of the Southern girls go, and they wear their rebel flag bikinis that are like 3 sizes too small, and they are most of them are bigger women, and it is awesome. Awesome. Here's Mr. Mailman. Wow. Just a bunch of junk. I have gotten a couple of arcs this week though from publishers. Simon & Schuster sent me one, and somebody else did. Doesn't look like he's giving me a book though. Whoa, whoa, whoa! He's still looking. He's still looking. I hate when he does this though. He leaves my mailbox open, right? And then he goes through the mail for the next house, and then he closes the mailbox. He's putting something in there. Maybe I got another book. It's getting a little dark out there. It's mostly cloudy. 75 degrees now, though. He's teasing your dopamine hit. Exactly. He's like, I know he's watching. I'm just going to let me make pretend. I always say that, make pretend. Let me make pretend I got something for him. And then he's going to be like all excited. And then I drive away. I do get excited when he pulls past the mailbox because then I know, all right, I got a package. And then he rubber bands it with all my mail and he brings it to the house. That's exciting. That's a dopamine hit right there. That's like pa-pow. Pa-pow. I guess Keith didn't jump back on. Keith didn't get the message. That's fine. He'll catch up tomorrow, the next day. Tomorrow, though, my wife is. You doing any book ads currently? I mean, none. No advertising at all. I've given up on that crap. Just saving my money. I look at it and I go, you know what? I could spend $250 a month, or since I'm not making that money, that's a plus $250 staying in my pocket. No, the algorithms are all screwed up. AI is screwing everything up. Everybody's complaining. My ads were all Facebook and Amazon were all upside down at one point. I'm like, Why am I spending all this money and I'm literally not making any sales? My focus right now is on writing and finishing these books that I'm working on, and obviously building up the YouTube. So keep watching all those all my videos in the background. Chaz, I got to do some of these kids' books. They're just not selling. Yeah, I think that's the problem with all books at this time. That they're just not selling. I saw an article yesterday about some woman. Of course, it's a pen name because and she writes romance books, but she also has like 10 pen names, and she wrote 500 books on Amazon, and she's supposedly doing this. She's making six figures, but on 500 books on different pen names. She just basically she can write a romance book in 45 minutes. So she's been setting them up and just churning them out, and then doing an AI cover for all of them, and just basically knocking out like a series of romance books, all kinds of different pen names and genres. And she's making tons of money. No, it's a book. She's literally writing whatever the word count is for romance. I don't know. Whatever depending on the genre. So she's writing like romantasy. I'm sure she's going, I need 100,000 words. No, she's not lying, because they're it's like now I don't remember where I read it. The Guardian, something like that. And basically she is telling you her pen names. She's not telling you her real name, but it's showing her in the article. It's showing her ranking on her better books and all that. You can't even do that with AI. 45 minutes. She's saying it takes an average of 45 minutes for her. I'm sure what it is that you've set it up, and now you've been able to pump them out like that. And yeah, I've other people. There's some dude on YouTube that's like, how you can write how I write my books in 45 minutes, 100,000 words. So it can be done. I'm sure they're all garbage. I'm sure that's not the point. Nick says Jay Wilburn can write a book in 45 minutes. You know, that is true right there. It's getting darker. I'll turn this light on. Let there be light. Yeah. And I'm sure she's also, I would imagine, setting up several. If over the last year she's written 500 books like this, and she just keeps going. I'd have to see her do it to believe it. And yes, they're probably some of the worst books you could ever read. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why you're so even if it takes her an hour, it doesn't matter. You think that her saying 45 minutes, she's lying about that? That's the worst part of this. But her thing is, it doesn't matter. I'm pumping out books because then I'm making sales on it. But if let's do the math here. She says she's making six figures. Let's say she's making $100,000. All right, divided by 500. So that she's making about $200 on average per book. And obviously some books are making more than others for whatever reason. And she's still pumping books out. And she's still writing several books every day. And she's got like a, whatever she called her AI factory, whatever she called it. So she's doing that. And then it's, the other 15 minutes of that hour. Man, this icy hot. Just kill me. The other 15 minutes of that hour, I'm sure, is creating an awful AI cover for it. But apparently readers are buying it, not realizing that she is that it's all AI, or they just don't care. Charlie says it's frustrating that people read that. Exactly. Romance in general or AI? Speaking of romance, me and Amanda Ward, we finished our post-apocalyptic romance book. We got a couple of one or two beta readers on it. They gave us some suggestions. I did a little rewrite on a couple of my chapters, and Amanda went through it this weekend, and I think we're going to release it. She's like, "You want to come up with a pen name?" I'm like, "No." Then we gotta create all this stuff. Just put it out. You're a romance author. Just put it out. Whatever your romance author name is with me, kind of thing. I'm fine. I'm fine with that as long as you do all the work on it. She's also coming over Sunday. Amanda's going to come over Sunday, bring me some Dunkin', some coffee. We're going to get some writing in. I'm going to be writing with Peter Marsh and Frank Edler. No, Frank can't write Sunday morning. We're going to get some writing in, and then me and Amanda will continue to write, plan about life, go get some lunch together. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what's that white? Oh, it's the it's a reflection of the cat in the window because it's getting really dark here for some reason. I was a little scared. I was like, oh great, another ghost. Since this house is built on an ancient burial ground and they didn't move any of the bodies. Oh, that might have been a movie. It's funny, I watched two different programs over the last week or so. And I don't know if it was like it could have been the Danny Trejo one, it could have been the Captain Kirk one, it could have been the Ving Rhames one, whatever, on History Channel, and they talked about the Amityville Horror and all that the family went through, and on and on and on, and how the Warrens came in and saved the day. Then I watched another documentary thing, which was on like Tubi, and basically they talked about how the Warrens were basically shysters, and they made up a lot of the facts and a lot of the stuff that happened. And basically they just basically were in it for the money. And the Amityville Horror, the evidence says nothing happened. I mean, that guy really did kill his family, but the people who then bought the house couldn't afford the house and they wanted to get out of it. So then they created this whole thing to make money, and the Warrens were complicit in it. And that's what happened. I dated a girl who was like everything those people said was like gospel. And I was like, yeah, they're fakes. None of this stuff happened. Reading their books and their stuff is like basically they are like ghost shows now. Oh, something touched me. Chet says, have you ever seen My Amityville Horror about Danny Lutz? I have no idea. There was a period when I was growing up, but I was very into all of that stuff. I remember I remember when I was in my late teens and we would be driving around and be like, let's go to Amityville. Let's go find the house. We would like do dumb things like that. Nick says the Warrens were jerks. Yeah, that's what I basically got out of it. And they were also just snake oil salesman shysters. But there are people that listen, like anything. It doesn't matter what the truth is. It's the story you want to believe in your head that makes you be able to sleep at night, I guess. So you get a lot of that stupidity. Even with mounting evidence that it was all BS. Chaz says his documentary about one of the Lutz kids and his experience, he's a very troubled guy from it and from his stepdad's abuse. Yeah. And obviously there's some bad stuff that happens in the house. You know what I'm saying? But not because of the house. When you put it all together, it makes for a compelling, fun, spooky horror story. how much of it is legit and true. Like my love for you. Tonight, new Expedition X. The second part of the wherever they were. I don't even remember. Chet says he claims the house was haunted, but his siblings aren't in the doc. It's a great doc, though. I'm not sure if I ever saw that. It's like not a story I actively go out and seek. They just happen to have them in these programs. Like I like watching like Monster Quest is another good one. I'm like, I've seen this monster 1,000 times. Oh, we're going to talk about the Wendigo yet again. Trinidad, yes, they're in Trinidad again. That's right, the second part of Trinidad. Chad says, I think it's on Tubi. I recommend it. Lorraine Warren is in the doc too. Her and Danny have this reunion after not seeing each other for several decades. And I'm sure Lorraine was like, how can I make money off of you still? They just seem like awful people. Actually, she seemed like an awful person, and her husband just went along for the ride because he got to spend some of the money. I mean, I'm eating my last frosted devil's food donuts from Entenmann's. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. Not supposed to rain. I want to thank everybody for hitting the subscribe button here on YouTube. I also want to thank the people who are watching my videos. Even if you're watching them in the background, I don't care. I need to get the my numbers up. I'm about halfway to my 4,000 hours now. I probably will hit it in the next couple days. The 2,000. And a new coffee mug. Do not disturb. From my wife's cousin Kayla. That was very, very thoughtful, kind of her. Very thoughtful, kind. So this is I'm writing the chapter 32 of White Trash, which is the book me and Tom are co-writing, although it's taking forever to get this book done. But we got less than 20 chapters, so it should take us I don't know, 4 months, 3 months at this point to get this done. Even though we wrote one of our books together in 14 days, the whole book, 50 chapters. Tom really not he got his own stuff going on, so I got another Wednesday video came out this morning. Everybody check that out. Not right now, but in general. I would appreciate that. My neck hurts. Nick says you should do a video about food in your writing. Oh, wait. I see what you did there. That's a knee slapper. One of the many questions people have asked me. In fact, and I crossed that off my list now. That popped up when this stream was done. Stream isn't done yet, though. How crazy is that? Charlie says it was a good video. Food isn't something I've had much in my stories, but I think using it as a transition, like you talked about, will be helpful. If you use it, let me know. And if you write one of the Substack stories and you use some food in it, let me know. Nick says down, not done. Well, I mean, down and done are like three different words. Mm. Ugh. You may be down, but you ain't done. That's what you mean by that. You may be done, but you ain't down. I'm not gonna finish the chapter. I don't even want to. Let me go over here. Let me just write on something else real quick. I may down, but am I dirty? Yes. There's Matthew. Good afternoon, my friend. I'm feeling good in my work this week. Good, good. Nick is full of it today. Today might be one of those days where I just do an hour. As crazy as that sounds. Tomorrow, taking down Christmas decorations. It's Christmas decorations. It's February 18th. At this point, leave them up. You're closer to Christmas than not. Tomorrow, I have to go and meet my wife at the doctor's office to get blood drawn, even though I don't want to, and I've been fighting it for, I don't know, weeks. But after that last debacle where they almost killed me, it's like 660 is nice. 75 here. It's a little too warm. But at least it's cloudy. Matt has to get blood drawn too. Can you do it for me? You can't do it when negative. Yeah, you can. It's called putting on some warm mittens and a scarf, snow boots, and bringing a flamethrower with you. I gotta get blood drawn tomorrow. So I can keep taking these Rybelsus pills. Ugh. Like, I'll do it in the doctor's office. I'm not going back to that. That guy stabbed me for nothing. Not with things under the snow. That's what you need a flamethrower for. 61 for Chad today. And dynamite doesn't work that well. I had no idea. All the smell melted yesterday. Smell equals snow. See, Michigan warm too. Yeah. All around the world. It's warming up. Global smell warming. So yes, I gotta go get this freaking blood tomorrow taken from me, my precious blood. But I'm doing it in the doctor's office. I always like, I'm like, listen, here's my arm. I'm gonna close my eyes. You're not gonna talk. You're not gonna tell me what you're doing. You're just gonna draw the blood and say done. That's the next word I want to hear from your mouth. Because I will pass out. And I will. Matt says it's warm enough today that I can wear shorts. Then again, it feels like Texas fall or winter weather. I'm wearing shorts. I'm currently wearing shorts. It's a little warm. In fact, I'm going to put my little fan on. So you hear the sound of the fan. I got no edits done yesterday or today. I'm probably not going to do any today. Nick says, I've had dates like that. Closing my eyes. Don't tell me what you're doing. Exactly. Which is how you found your imaginary girlfriend now. And I'm like, you know what? And then if I haven't passed out, I tell my wife, then I'm going to stick around for lunch and we're going to have empanadas. But then I got to get it home because then I have therapy. At that point, then maybe I'll jump on later tomorrow, 4:00 or so. But I'll probably want to sleep. I will be back on Friday, though, obviously. I don't know about Sunday because Amanda will be here. We're going to get some writing in. So I don't believe I will jump on. Matt says, yeah, I can at least say I've been with the same guy for 12 years. 12 years! Yeah, I've been with my wife for 13 years. Yeah. Chad's been with his wife for about 100 years, I think. Nick created his girlfriend out of his imagination 5 years ago. I was like people who are with people for like 12, 15 years, whatever, and they're like, yeah, I'm not getting married. I had a boss who was who dated a woman for like almost 20 years. And we would always tease him, like, why don't you marry her? And he would have said, no, no, no. And they lived together, but we found out that he came from very strict Jewish parents. And his mother, the woman he was dating was not Jewish. And his mother was adamant, you are not going to marry a Goyim. And so they dated for like 20 something years. And then his mother passed away. And I think like 2 weeks later, they got married. And they've been together for, I don't know, 20 years now or more. They've been married. In fact, they're on a cruise this week. Oh, 17 years. They've been married for 17 years now. Nick says almost 5 years from AI. I mean, imagination. Chad says I've been with my wife 35 years. That's awesome. A Gentile, how dare he? Yeah. She loved Goyim is the word that she used, I remember. He'll never marry that Goyim. But then literally 2 weeks after she passed away, I hadn't worked with him in years. I just heard from somebody else. They were basically like, oh, so Mike and Betty Ann got married. Ooh, oof. I made a couple of cheeseburgers for lunch. I'm going to tell you why I made cheeseburgers. Not because I was like, hey, I want cheeseburgers today. That sounded like it did. It 100% made me feel better. I was like, okay, good. That makes me feel a lot better. Whew. I had cheeseburgers because the freezer in the kitchen, and then we have another refrigerator with a freezer in the garage, and then I have one of those big deep freezer ones in the garage, and we have a lot of food, and so I try to get all the food that I want to eat into the kitchen one, so I know it's there. Because out of sight, out of mind, I'm like, she's like, oh, I bought you pizza rolls. I'm like, where'd you put them? But the last couple of days, last week or so, I've been like, oh, you know what? I'm going to eat these cheese sticks. I'm going to eat these pierogies. I'm going to eat anything in this freezer because it gets too packed. And then the door sometimes doesn't close all the way, which is annoying. And then you don't know it until you open it up and like all the ice in it is frozen and there's like icicles on everything because everything has melted or started to melt. So today I was like, you know what? I'm going to eat something from this freezer. I'm not going to immediately go out and put something in here. And so I was like, oh, well, there's two burger patties left. And I have 3 hamburger buns left. This is where we're going. And I get frozen onions. I can get rid of the bag of frozen onions and the last 2 pack. This thing's almost empty at this point. So that's what I had for lunch. And I took out a frozen pound of meat from the other freezer so my wife can make something for dinner. I'm like, a pound of meat. Figure it out before you get home. And that says our fridge is only like 7 cubic feet, 7.6 maybe. I don't know how many. We actually have a one of those whatever freezer it is. It's not like one of these sub-zero freezer or anything like that, but it's like the one below that. So it's actually got a lot of room in it. Room in it. And then it's like we got an old refrigerator in the garage that um, one of the tenants years ago for uh, one of the spaces that they were renting from my wife's company, they left a bunch of stuff, and one of the things they left was the refrigerator. And she's like, "Well, I got to get rid of it." She's like, "Well, you know what? So we're gonna throw it on the back of the truck. We're gonna put it in our garage." And then my parents bought us one of those deep freezer, big giant things, and that is just overflowing with various items. The freezer for the refrigerator out in the garage is all just bread because of that bread of the month whatever club she does. We got a lot of food in this house. And once we get closer to MondoCon, it's always like once we hit like June, she's always like, "All right, we have to start eating some of this stuff because I'm going to need room for MondoCon stuff in the refrigerator and the freezer and the pantry." So just a lot. I mean, just a lot of work. Next Halloween, all the kids get bread. Little girl, oh, you're a princess. Here, sourdough bread. We do have we do have there's some specific garlic bread in there, so I'm sure at some point we'll eat it. But then she'll order another one for MondoCon for Nick. Oh yeah, your name's already going to be written on it, Nick. Don't even worry about that. What is wrong with this? Just charge. Thank you. Nick says, "Ooh, it's the only time I get it." Why does she not like garlic bread? Is there a just a preference? She just doesn't like garlic. Is she allergic to something? I need to know what the problem is. Because when I come and visit you guys and stay for a couple weeks, I'm planning on bringing a lot of Florida garlic with me. Florida garlic is some of the best garlic in the world. She's allergic to garlic. Ah, so you sweating it out of your pores. She's allergic to garlic and bad jokes. I'm bringing garlic and bad jokes with me. This is gonna be a fun 2 month me staying with you trip. It's getting now the sun came out. I would turn that light off because now it's bothering me. 2 months, I'll get the TNT and a shovel. Yeah. And me and your imaginary girlfriend will be burying you when we fall madly in love. And I teach her the proper way to eat garlic. And love my bad jokes. Why TNT? A creeper is more efficient. I don't think he's talking about Minecraft. I think he's talking about literally getting TNT. Nick likes to blow stuff up in Milwaukee. He's searching for a secret treasure. I know, just joking. Bad jokes. Nick said no bad jokes for his imaginary girlfriend. She might be listening. The problem is I jumped from one store to the other. Now I'm like, I don't even want to write this one. I don't even want to write this one. I'm going to write a little bit on it. Especially the movie. Yes. Yes, the movie. I should not have had those 2 donuts, especially right after having burgers. What is wrong with me? Oh, I'm fat. That's right. There we go again. I just wrote some food, and I wrote about pork chops into this book. 'Cause you know what? Pork chops are delicious. First time I ever went out with my wife, that she had pork chops. We were in a restaurant. She had pork chops. I grew up not a huge fan of meat on the bone except for ribs. Pork chops, you fork and scissor, fork and knife, fork and just cut it with a scissor. Fork and knife, you cut around the bone and you just take all the meat and you eat it. And my wife is from the South, so you just pick it up by the bone and then you take bites out of it. And I laughed at that. It was funny. I was like, I've never seen anybody eat pork chops like that. She's like, I've never seen anybody eat with a fork and knife. I said, that's just weird. And she's like, this is God. God put a handle on the pork chop for you. And I'm like, you know what? That does make sense. Nick, is your imaginary girlfriend also pescatarian? Or she eat whatever the heck she wants? She eats it all. So she just got to put up with your eating stuff then. She's in there gnawing on two pork chops right in front of you. She's like, does this bother you, little man? That's what she calls you, little man. When you guys have a big fight, she finds a pig to roast in front of you in the living room. She makes you sit underneath it, and all the fat drippings hit you in the face and burn you. I don't know where I'm going with any of this, Nick. I apologize. Put that in your book. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in my book. So much meat juice thrown around. Yeah. She just saves all. She's got big, one of the big pickle jars, 55-gallon drum in the kitchen, just filled with meat juice. And she's like, say something stupid again so I could dunk your head in here. You're like, I apologize. Oh, there's Frank Edler. Or should I say Nick Zinn Part 2? Part 2? Pork in one, chicken in another. Yeah, you can't mix meat juices. Then that just, it tastes weird. Nick says, hi, Frank. Frank says, hi back. It's a lively conversation we're having going back and forth here. Excuse me. Oh, that felt good, though. There's the guy who's married to the Chinese lady. He's out there jogging today. 74 degrees out. It must be nice, though. You know what I'm saying? Frank's like, hey! See, Frank he got a little bit more excited now. Well, Shamrock Shake is back. I always like maybe every other year I'm like, oh, Shamrock Shake. Then I'm always like, I should just get a chocolate shake. And it doesn't matter because the shake machines are always broken anyway. It's made with classic vanilla soft serve, shamrock syrup, and Oreo cookie pieces mixed in. Nick wants to know what Mr. Frank's favorite meat juice is. Did I miss any breaks? I don't even know what that means. I'm talking about a Shamrock Shake. Also, they're doing the Oreo Shamrock McFlurry. It's also set to return. A1 steak sauce is my favorite meat juice. I see what you did there. I'm not a big fan of A1 snake sauce. It has nothing to do with it's not a condiment because I have had it before. I just don't think meat needs to have a good steak. If the steak is good, it doesn't need to have A1 on it. That's my opinion. But if you put it on it, I'm not going to be like thrown across the room. Frank says meatloaf juice. That does sound delicious. Meatloaf juice. Duncan got 2 new treats coming out. Donut inspired snacks. Brownie brittle blondies and brownie brittle Dunkin' mocha latte. They look like peanut brittle pieces things. I'm gonna have to try that. I'm gonna say to my wife, I need these things. This is why I'm so fat because I keep getting all these 400 messages about emails about food. Chad says, actually, yeah. Chad says, I'm done with Sergio. I would do anything for meat juice, but I won't do that. That does make sense. I'm afraid to sing it all. I am a great singer too, which is the problem because I don't want to be flagged. I think steak in the 70s needed A1. Yeah, probably. That was a different breed of hamster back then, you know what I'm saying? My parents in the 70s, man, that A1 steak sauce, my dad would dump that stuff on everything. And then like throw some like paprika or something in there. Everything had to be like super, super spicy and top 20 cuts of steak by decade. Top 20? There's 20 different cuts. My wife's favorite is the Delmonico steak. Best cuts of steak. You know, it depends really. It's saying top steak cuts and their characteristic ribeye, which is also called the king. Heavily marbled, juicy, and intensely flavorful. Ideal for grilling or pan searing. Filet mignon, which is the most tender, very tender, lean, and butter soft. Best for those who prefer a mild taste. New York strip is the best all-rounder. Firm, meaty, and well marbled, like Nick Zinn. A classic, robust steakhouse choice. The porterhouse / T-bone, which is the best of both, combines a strip steak, and a filet on one bone. Sirloin flap, which is the best budget. It's a flavorful, often overlooked tender cut. So there you go. Charlie says, I like ribeye or New York strip. Nick says, quality butt steak. Yeah, I agree with that. Charlie says, I like them firm and meaty. I think we're getting a little in the weeds here with what we're talking about, boys. Frank is not a fan of filet mignon. MondoCon, every meal is going to be filet mignon. That's bad. It's bad to know that. Anytime we go out, my wife's like, I'm in the mood for a steak. So we go to places where they have steak. And then I always get like something seafood. Hardly ever. I never get a steak when we go out, even when we go out to like a steakhouse. I always get something else. I would rather have chicken or seafood. But I'm a fan of steak, but you know what? I like when my wife makes steak at home. Then I will eat it. Chad says, speaking of food in the 70s, some of the worst recipes imaginable came out that decade. Lots of things with Jell-O and hot dogs. Yeah, Jell-O and hot dogs in the same dish. The 70s were like, hey, we're all poor. Let's just throw anything we have in a pot on the stove and see what happens. Charlie says, I always get steak, but I like to criticize how they cook it and tell my wife how I can do better. Oh, you're that guy. Skirt steak is underrated. Chad says he friggin' loved the 70s. 1970s food trends. Let's see what some of the trends were. Food America fell in love with in the 1970s. I feel like every time I'm on, we're learning stuff. Except not on that page because something is not working. Here we go. I gotta watch a 5-second ad before I can see this. All right, enough with the ad. These are foods America fell in love with in the 1970s. Ready? Anybody? Number 46, Robert Redford cake. Layered chocolate, cream cheese, whipped cream, and pecans became known as the next big thing to Housewives' favorite actor Robert Redford in the 70s. Mr. Frank walks in and says, top 29 steaks, and here we are. Exactly. That's all I need is somebody. Hey, Frank, did you ever listen to the beginning of that show like I told you to 50 times yesterday? I'm telling you, it's the beginning. It's the chorus from Parasite by Kiss. Number 45, Mug O Lunch. You remember that one? I remember that one. 44, Carnation Breakfast Bars. Remember that one? Frank, makes a bold proclamation. If ambrosia isn't on there, it's a sham list. 43, Pop Rocks. You don't want to drink those with soda because they'll explode your stomach and you'll all be dead. Number 42, cocktail meatballs. Number 41, Campbell's Chunky Soup. I still like Campbell's soup. 40, Pizza Spins. Introduced in 1968, Pizza Spins didn't stick around for long before General Mills took the snack off grocery store shelves. It was a savory favorite, definitely earned itself a loyal following at a 7-year journey. The crunchy treats, housed in a red and green box, were designed to look and taste like slices of pizza, with Parmesan, tomatoes, pizza slices, and pepper added to the ingredients list. I don't remember that. Chet says pre-drink. No, I don't have access to. You can. It's on. I found it on YouTube. I found that specific episode on YouTube. You only have to listen to the 40 seconds in, and it's like a 8-second thing. At this point, I don't even want you to listen to it. Frank says, "Ooh, Coronation breakfast bars. I remember those two. Fondue parties on shag carpets." Chad says, "I don't remember Pizza Spins, but I do remember Chef Boyardee pizza in a box. So maybe we'll get to that." Remember how the color green looked in the 70s like a sick lime? Yeah. That's literally, if you look up Pizza Spins, that's literally, they use that. Okay, this one I have no idea. Ham and Bananas Hollandaise. It was featured in the then popular McCall's magazine. Calls for you to wrap mustard-covered ham around bananas before baking for 10 minutes and finishing with a rich hollandaise sauce. A mix of sweet, salty, and creamy. Any of your parents make that one? Remember how the ring pops? I remember having ring pops as kids. Chad says, any photograph of meat in the 70s looked like the least appetizing thing in the world, like E.T. dying next to the river. Yeah. Oscar Mayer olive loaf. Frank says, chicken a la king. Number 36, the baked Alaska. That was a showstopper of a dish in the 70s. I don't think it is anymore. Number 35, quiche Lorraine. Who is this parking? Go away. Number 34, space food sticks. I don't know what that is. Frank says chicken a la king. Dude, yes, chicken a la king all day. Space food sticks is a candy bar, was introduced by Pillsbury and NASA, and was even sent into space with Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. The exciting launch helped it garner a cult following, with fans loving the flavors: chocolate, caramel, and peanut butter. Despite the initial popularity, it was sadly discontinued in the 1980s. Quiche Lorraine by Uriah Heep, exactly. Kugel. Anybody ever heard of this? It's a peanut butter spread. The sweet twist on the salty spread with flavors including banana, cinnamon, chocolate, and vanilla. While it was popular with children, it didn't last long. Toast Witches. Chad never heard of that spread. Toast Witches. They were toast sandwiches located in the frozen aisle that came onto the market in the early 70s and were available in a host of fabulous flavors, including sausage and maple, grilled cheese, and pizza burger. And so it's French toast with filling. I guess you put it in the toaster. Cheese fondue. Number 30, one of Frank Edler's favorites, carrot cake. I mean, that's still delicious. I do love me a good carrot cake. I love when Frank Edler's around because I know my wife's going to make a carrot cake. Honey Nut Cheerios. You remember that? Oh, wait, that's still around too. Honey Nut Cheerios was invented in 1979. Number 28, Watergate salad. I do know this only because my wife's family makes this at most gatherings. We've had this at Thanksgiving every year. They've had it for 100 years. It was a green hued salad. Jello, pistachio instant pudding, canned pineapple, mini marshmallows, chopped nuts, and whipped cream. Here's a classic. A Reggie bar. Remember the Reggie bars? Frank, you must have eaten a ton of Reggie bars. Between 1978 and 1981, it featured a rich caramel and roasted peanut center with milk chocolate coating. May not be available anymore, but you can often find bars or even old wrappers selling on eBay. Chad says pistachio pudding was the shiznits. I don't like pudding because of the texture. I don't like the texture. Stuffed celery. In the early 70s, when simple finger food was all the rage, stuffed celery graced party platters and buffet tables alike. Usually featured chilled sticks of celery filled with the likes of cream cheese, cheddar, crispy bacon, herbs, and olives. However, towards the end of the decade, a trend for more exotic, globally inspired hors d'oeuvres took hold. Angel Delight. Strawberry flavored. All you need to do was whisk milk into Bird's Angel Delight, and you were rewarded with a fluffy, fruity pudding. LaChoy Chop Suey, yeah. Jelly Bellies. Not really a big fan of that. A cheese ball. A cheese ball with crackers. I knew a gal named Angel Delight. Was she an adult film star, a stripper, or both? Halifax Donair. It's a pita that's loaded with spit roasted shaved beef, tomatoes, onions, and a signature garlicky and sweet donair sauce made with condensed milk. It's still served at this guy who invented it, his chain King of Donair. Pineapple upside down cake. My wife still makes that. I'm not a fan. She makes that. Her best friend's mom loves. Or no, her best friend loves that. Which club did she dance at, Nick? Yeah. Devils on horseback. Literally little devils, and they're riding tiny horses. It's tasty little bites of caramelized dates and creamy goat's cheese wrapped in crispy, salty bacon. Salisbury steak. Man, again, I love Salisbury steak. In fact, I think my wife bought it for me, and it's probably in the bottom of that freezer out there. Loaded potato skins, still delicious. I still do love anytime we go out somewhere and they have loaded potato skins for appetizers. I'm like, I'm doing appetizers. I don't think Chili's has it anymore. Nature Valley. They still have these. These are still around, right? Joy makes Salisbury steak from time to time. That is delicious. We used to love Salisbury steak. My mom would buy like the trays of it. Patty melts too. Patty melts are delicious. I made a patty melt a couple weeks ago. Do they still make Tato skins? Ah, that was also a good one. Number 18, California rolls. I think that's still a thing, right? I don't eat sushi. I'm sure I would like some of it, but I don't want to try. Golden grams. I love golden grams as a kid. Munchkins donut hole treats. Well, that's still a thing. Munchkins are still delicious. Like, I need 40 munchkins. Give me 20 chocolate, 10 of the glazed, and 10 of the blueberry. Golden Grams is still one of the best cereals ever made. It's a good cereal. Next time my wife orders cereal, I hardly ever eat cereal anymore, but when I do, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna eat the whole box. Get me a box of Golden Grams. Pasta Primavera. You still get that. Chad says ignorance is bliss when it comes to potato skins, Frank. Libby Land dinners. They were, oh, so they're like TV dinners. They were the very first TV dinners designed with children in mind. Each meal came complete with an entree, 2 sides of dessert, and a flavored milk drink. Think fish sticks with mac and cheese, hamburgers with baked beans, and fried chicken with spaghetti and meatballs. It looks like a really bad TV dinner thing, too. The little tinfoil tray. General Tso's chicken. Rose to fame in the 1970s after this guy opened a restaurant in New York City. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of General Tso's chicken. A Black Forest Gâteau. Classic dinner party dessert. It's known as Schwarzwälder Kirschkorska in Germany. Creamy layered cake is finished with bitter chocolate, sour cherries, and kirsch. Still a much loved dessert. Frozen yogurt. You ever hear frozen yogurt? Or as I like to call it, me and the kids, we call it froyo. Number 9, Hunt's Manwich Original Sloppy Joe Sauce. And my mother used to make Sloppy Joes all the time. It was so cheap and gross. Sloppy Joes on white bread. That's what we would have like once a week for dinner. And you'd get like 4 bites into it, and then it would just, the bread is orange and falling apart now. Quarter pounder. You ever hear of that? McDonald's quarter pounder. Introduced in the 1973. So the first 3 years of my life, there wasn't even a quarter pounder. Chad says they need to market the rectangle school pizza so people older than 18 can still enjoy it. Yeah, you just got to basically turn it upside down and drip all the grease off of it first. That school lunch pizza was delicious. Mississippi mud pie. Still good. Who makes that? The frozen aisle, there's a really good Mississippi mud pie. Manwich versus Manimal. What are you, Nick Zinn? Cup noodles. Cup noodles. Hamburger helper. Still to this day, I love. In fact, my wife might be like, we're going to do hamburger helper tonight. And you know what? I love hamburger helper. I'm a fan. That was introduced in 1971. So the first year of my life, I didn't even have hamburger helper. My life was so empty when I was a baby. Number 4, Happy Meal. Made an epic entrance in 1979. Number 3, Subway BMT. 1975, the BMT, originally named after the Brooklyn Manhattan Transit System. I didn't know that. It's arguably one of the brand's best sandwiches, often called the biggest, meatiest, tastiest sub on the menu. Nick says, Armand was ready to end the show, then Mr. Frank comes in, and it's like Darryl Strawberry on go-go powder in the 80s. Nick, you summed it up. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Oh, wait a minute. Frank comes in and has some random thing he asks, and we're going to run with it. Chad says, hamburger helper. That's the real scam. Buy a big bag of egg noodles, stock up on spices. Bam, you've got even cheaper hamburger helper mix. It's all mixed together. You take a thing of meat, and you brown the meat, and you just throw it all in a thing, and you're done. And it's not like Hamburger Helper; those boxes are all that much money either. Frank says, "Lol." Is pickle loaf on that list? Not so far, unless it hits the first two. Oh, there was something. Wait, hold on. There was some kind of loaf thing. Maybe you weren't listening. I got to find it. La-da-dee. I do miss Reggie bars though. Reggie bars were so good. Oscar Mayer olive loaf. They say it was an acquired taste. Salami or honey loaf. My mom used to make me honey loaf and mustard sandwiches. That seems cruel. Olive loaf, that's what I meant, not pickle. There you go. Let's get back down to our list. I think we're at number 3. This is getting that was number Subway BMT was number 3. Number 2. Frank says, I watched a YouTube thing about what happened to Shake and Bake. Oh, Shake and Bake. Remember Shake and Bake? Yeah. My mom used to use it all the time. So the number 2 introduced in the 1970s, 1979 to be exact, a Twix bar. I went 9 years of my life without Twix bars. I'm living in the wrong century. And the number 1, according to this list, foods America fell in love with in the 70s, 1975, Egg McMuffin. I'm not a user Egg McMuffin. I can eat them, but there's other things on the menu. Obviously, I'm going to get a big breakfast with hotcakes, or I'm going to get the big breakfast with hotcakes with my syrup, hotcake syrup, or I'm going to get the breakfast burritos with mild picante sauce. I have all kinds of cool stuff in this office. So there you go. That's our take back in time. What was one of the biggest fads in the 70s? Bell bottoms, platforms, high-waisted jeans, tie-dye, feathered hair, the afro, corduroy, circular sunglasses, underground punk, which is black leather jackets, hair that don't care, and studs all became a trend for punk enthusiasts. Hot pants, large floppy collars, puka shells, and love beads. Frank says that was solid. Unlike your bowel movements from eating all those foods. Yeah. You know what I drank today, Frank? Mushroom coffee. And I went to the bathroom because it originally, when I got on at 12, about 5 minutes in, Chad and Keith were on, and then I lost my internet. And it wasn't supposed to be back until like 3 o'clock. And then I was like, I got to go to the bathroom anyway. I went to the bathroom, came back. There was it. This says, what is 1975 famous for food? 1975, Pillsbury acquires Totino's frozen pizza for $20 million. That is crazy. Famous Amos chocolate chip cookies are introduced. Eight things that were hippie food in the 70s that are now sold at every major grocery chain. Number 1, tofu, nutritional yeast, tempeh, sprouts, whole grain bread, granola, and plant-based milks. I just enjoy just random things. So you're going to say you drank Tang. Now, we couldn't afford that. What were we, astronauts? We weren't even cosmonauts back then. This dude's still out there jogging. Calm down. Calm down. You already got a wife. What was the most popular food in the 1970s? Well, there's just a bunch of people saying stuff. Chef Boyardee ravioli is on this list. And Bosco. Remember Bosco? Frank says, I miss the 1970s Burger King hats. You could probably still get them on eBay for several $100s. Chet says, thanks for taking us down memory lane, Armand. Yep. Classic. Just classic. All right. We're done with our history lesson for today. You know what? Tomorrow might be a different one. Why does this guy just keep running? Now he's just running back. I think he's just taunting me. He's running back and forth in front of my house. What do you want? You want to fight? This guy wanted to fight? I'm not fighting him. He looks like he got muscles. He's also outside. It's freezing out. 75 degrees. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna wrap it up in about 15 minutes, unless Frank can throw something else at us. Since he refuses to watch that thing and swear that it's Parasite by Kiss. Tomorrow's topic: top 7 breeds of Argentinian goats. Yeah, I could do that right now off the top of my head, but we'll wait till tomorrow. There were people arguing. No, that not the thing that you watched, because that's a different. It's a new season. Every now and then they have that the music I'm talking about. I'm telling you, it's the new season. Episode 1, and it's called Meth Soup. Is the name of the episode. And 40 seconds into it, when they're playing the music, it's the chorus part of Parasite by Kiss. Yeah. Somebody was arguing on, I don't know if it was Instagram or TikTok, one of them that my son sent me, that people were arguing about where cows come from. And somebody swears that there are wild cows just roaming around through like Wyoming or something. That's where they originated, on and on. He's like, that's not right. Like, I don't know. What do people care about? They're arguing about cows. Hmm. You're eventually going to listen to that, Frank, and you're going to be like, 100% you're right. Oh my God. I immediately started singing I Can't Get Parasite by Kiss out of my head now. I even listened to it again. I'm like, I want to make sure that it's even on here, because the one you said, I'm like, oh, that they didn't have that in the beginning of that episode. Same thing. I think I did send you the link. All right, but I got to email it to you. I gotta hold on. It's here, but I gotta delete all of the crazy things that I've. But I'm going to email it to you. The subject will be enjoy. Sent. I can't do those fancy send things on phone links and stuff. That behooves me. I'm behooved. It's like 40 seconds in to the episode. Then you'll be behooved. Okay, here we go. And don't lie either, Frank. Don't be a liar. Nobody likes a liar. And nobody likes a lira. I believe that's money. I went to school with a Dawn lira. She's a little cute. She's a little cute girl. I don't know if she's still. She's probably still little. I don't think she's like grown 2 feet or something. I believe she plays basketball now. Charlie says, I've had parasites stuck in my head since you talked about it the other day. Right? Well, if you watch that episode and listen to the first 40 seconds of it, it's To Catch a Smuggler South Pacific on National Geographic. You go to National Geographic, season 15, episode 1. 40 seconds into the episode, they play it and you hear what is definitely that. Or I'm going crazy. I don't know. I've had it stuck in my head, but I keep singing different weird lyrics to it. Just random words. I keep reaching for my coffee, but I don't have any more coffee. You have water? I gotta remember to drink a lot of water in the morning. Season 15, which episode? Episode 1, Meth Soup, it's called. Just watch the beginning, 40 seconds into it, I think is when it starts, somewhere at that point. All of a sudden you hear the breakdown of the chorus for Parasite. And Frank's going to bold-faced lie to me. Boiled-faced lie and say, oh, no, that doesn't sound like it. It does. Back me up on this, Charlie. Back me up. You honestly don't hear it? It's there, Frank. It's there. I'm just so disappointed in you. Maybe Charlie can hear it. Parasite Charlie, listen in now. Maybe Parasite. She has a song Parasite. Is it about a bad boyfriend or something, or is it that she had a parasite and then she was sick and she was in the hospital? Ooh, I'm burping. First, I'm getting the faintest idea of what you're saying, but I think you're really forcing the lyrics to that tune. Just that one part. Just it's just literally that one little part. That that parasite baby. Basically, just that one little schematic. If I sing the lyrics along to that music, I should like Jerry Lewis singing "Parasite." Oh, lady. Well, there you go. Whatever that even you even said there. I won't bring it up anymore. Okay, it's done. We're done. Chatsy, give me the link to this thing you guys are talking about. All right, I'll email it to you. Just a little snippet. Not the whole. I'm not saying it's the whole song. It's just that one little part. Sent. All right. As soon as Chad listens and gives the final say on this, I don't know where Charlie went. But regardless of what it will not be mentioned again. What is your email? 40 about 40 seconds. Start listening from there, and it's like a few seconds after. Yeah, there are a lot of yeah. I have the link because when I first looked it up for Frank, I'm like, oh, there's about 10,000 episodes that have meth in the title. Top 20 episodes about meth, which doesn't cover about a tenth of the meth episodes. Even the one episode that's not about meth, the title of it is "This One Is Not About Meth." So it's like it's still confusing. It's Charlie. It's season 15, episode 1. It's called Meth Soup because the soup. I'm gonna spoiler alert. The soup is really meth. But you know what I like? Meth soup with some oyster crackers. They're delicious. Frank says, "I tried. I really tried." You just don't have the ears for this stuff. You've been listening to Debbie Gibson for way too many years. And again, maybe it's just me. I don't know. For instance, meth soup, meth stew, meth Donald's, burger meth, taco meth, boneless meth. Yeah. Pork chop meth. Chad says, okay, so I see what you're saying, but it's really a stretch. If someone with a synth program to strings decided they wanted to redo the parasite lady part, but have a different tempo. Okay. See? But it's there. It's just not that it's there. In my head, it's there. So thank you, Chad. I would take that as a win. For some reason, whenever the show starts and they play that, they don't always play it in every episode. Then that pops up, and I'm like, in my head, I'm singing it. I'm always singing Paradise Adler. So, as the same 5 note succession of the Parasite Lady part. Exactly. That's the only part. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about they ripped off the whole song, but it's that part. Chad, sing the lyrics to that music, but in Jerry Lewis's voice. Which you don't know this. Gene Simmons stole that song from Jerry Lewis originally, so that does make sense. But Gene also created Jerry Lewis, so I mean, I guess there's that as well. All right, everybody. Now that we cleared that up, I should be on tomorrow, but I don't know. I'm getting blood drawn tomorrow, so who knows what kind of mood I'm going to be in. I'm going to just sleep. Nick says, I hear Anthrax's cover of Parasite. That's more of what I hear. I hear the Anthrax version of that song in it. All right. I'm out here. I'll definitely be back on Friday, a positive Friday. And I'm positive we will be talking about random things from who can say what we will be talking about. But please join us. If you are watching this after the fact, pop in on Friday at about noon Eastern Standard Time and bring up a subject. Frank will bring up a subject and we will talk about it. Talk about pop music. See you later, Nick. See you later, everybody that hung out with me today. I appreciate it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you are watching several of my YouTube videos for the rest of the day. Put them in the background on mute. I don't care. I need the hours. I'm like 2,000 hours from monetizing. So help a poor man out. See you later.